What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to our latest episode of Floppy Drop. And today, we're gonna have some conversations. But oh, it was a week, man. In terms of comics, it was rough week. But before we get to that, I will say it is the eve of 4th of July. Hopefully, you guys have some fun plans with your family, friends. Do something to go celebrate Independence Day. Just be safe. But
Watch Independence Day.
Watch Independence Day with Will Smith, where he doesn't, slap comedians and say, "Get my wife's name out your mouth." That was the best. That was the best Will Smith impression I had for tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I can do better. Tonight, that's as far as it's going. I feel like my afternoon was just this amount of depression because usually I try to read some books on Wednesday and then some throughout Thursday, and then we'll do the show. And last night we had our comic book club at my LCS. We did Superman for All Seasons. Love that book. Great conversation. Had a great time. But it's always late nights, so I usually don't get home till around 11 o'clock at night. And came home, walked the dog, showered, went straight to bed. Got up, was at work around 7:40 this morning, and started reading on my lunch break, and then in between getting off work and now. And I was wondering what was going on in the world. Everything seemed bleak. There was an air of retardation in everything that I was reading. So yeah, fun times. But anyways, as always, I am here with my main man Drewski, aka Dolan, aka I Write Comics, aka Heavy D, which I've forgotten the past few times. How are you, sir?
Yeah. Heavy D in the house, dropping them floppies. Good in the boat.
Yep, doing all right. Just hanging out, watching Piranha double two double D, 3 double D, whatever. Yeah, whatever the hell this was called. Yeah. Anyway,
nice.
Yeah, had a solid day. Read some quote unquote comics. Yeah, interesting reading material. I'll say that.
I mean, they exist.
Yeah. We're gonna have words. We're gonna have comments about these quote unquote comics. This quote unquote entertainment. But I'm happy to see that my Kickstarter, we've gotten several more backers today.
Oh, and nice.
We're like 71 bucks away from $6,000. So that's awesome.
Heck yeah. Well, speaking of said Kickstarter, I've got it pulled up, but I haven't looked at the page yet. So that's when I was like, oh, heck yeah. But let's pull this bad boy up real quick. Maybe. There we go. It's cooperating now. So Unholy Nightmare coming up. Yeah.
Yep, 130 backers. Yes, we're down to hours, not days. We're down to hours. 71 hours ago.
71 hours ago. We're still close to 6,000. We need to pass that 6,000 mark.
Yeah, I'm sure we could do that in the next hour and a half. Someone could come in, buy a couple of copies of the Golem, and nice JC Grande cover. Boom, you're all set.
Indeed. And I think we sent an email out, correct? Pertaining to the Golem to try to be like, hey, Jokers, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. I sent that one out, I think, earlier today. Yeah, I sent it out to backers, thanking them for backing us, supporting us, and it means a lot. They really have no idea just how much it means. But there are still a lot of people who haven't backed the Golem, which is just like, guys, you do not want to miss out on this. It's one of those things where I'm not trying to upsell people, but it's just like, it is that flipping good, guys.
Agreed. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like the Golem is something I've been talking about or hinting at for well over a year, because I read it well over a year ago, and I'm just like, I wish you guys could understand that I'm not trying to like sell this book. I'm genuinely just gushing out of love.
If I was trying to upsell these people, I'd be hustling the medals to these people. But it's like, no, I want you guys to read this book. You are going to love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get us there on the screen real quick. Let me go down her. Um, yeah, it's such a good story, and then Vudon's art is freaking fantastic, and getting to see him do interiors is insanely cool. Um, but yeah, so if you're listening and you've backed the book, but you haven't backed the Golem, and you have the means to, I just have to stress, like, go back that backup issue because it's well worth it. And I think like they're Aaron's pushing for like trying to get this circulated in terms of kind of reward conversations.
Yeah, he really believes this is like award worthy. Like, so he may have channels to be able to submit this, and it's one of those things where, wow, of all the things, I never would have thought a 10-page short story like this. But it really, you guys, it's amazing how it just all came from one thought, one idea, and just from a story I heard on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's where it all started.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to me. It means a lot to people I know in the Jewish community.
Mhm.
I had a lot of them read it to make sure, it felt, I mean, look, it's hard to say genuine or authentic when you have a golem monster involved in this, but to the time frame, what happened, because there are some real world elements involved.
Right.
So it did feel genuine.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't stress enough that I genuinely think this is worthy of just, purchasing and picking up. And I think anyone that does will be happy that they did. And at this rate, there's going to be so few out there that I think it's going to become a collector's item for a number of different reasons, whether it's, the story's blowing up, you blowing up, Vudon blowing up, because like Vudon is about to just really be out there. And not in the sense of, oh, this story's releasing, but there's other things that he's working on that he's about to start becoming a known name in the comics industry.
Yeah, and one is a major property that I cannot talk about yet. Can't. I wish I could. I can't. But you guys will see it later this year, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit! This is one of the best covers I've ever seen of this character ever."
Yeah.
And that is not hyperbole. When you see it, it's be like, "Oh my god, he was not kidding."
No,
So
not at all.
And then you guys are gonna be looking for his earlier work, and the Golem's gonna come up. You're gonna be like, "Oh my god, why didn't I get that?" And it's like, well, you hesitated. There you go. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, and look, I mean, you can tell by looking at this cover here that he did. Like, he's got a very like old school traditional art sense. It's got that kind of like
he did it all by pen.
Yeah. I mean,
no photo reference, nothing. He did this all by his mind in his hand.
Yep. And I say this all the time, but it kind of reminds me of like Barry Windsor Smith and that kind of throwback and inks and cross hatching and all that stuff. So like, yeah, fantastic work. But anyways, the link for Unholy Nightmare 2 is in the chat. Go support the book. There's a ton of covers there for you guys. I'm not going to spend too much time. We've kind of done this past few streams, but definitely worth looking through. And then there's still one cover that has yet to make its presence on the page, but it'll be coming in the final 48 hours of the stream or the campaign. And it's this bad boy right here. So the first JC Grande cover that was completed, but the second to be revealed.
Correct. And yeah, that's going to be dropping this weekend. That's the final 48 hours cover. And this guy, he's another one. He's going to be a superstar. I guarantee you. It's like every day he's putting up a new piece of artwork on Facebook. I don't know if you guys follow this guy, but it's like every day it's a new piece. And it's like, how has no one scooped them up yet? It's like lucky me right now. I'm the kid in the candy store playing with this guy.
Yeah, I think he as well as it's only a matter of time before publishers start.
Before someone like Rob Liefeld, Marat Michaels, or Mark Miller picks him up.
Right. Indeed.
Indubitably.
But yes, indubitably. But yes, go back the book. We only have 71 hours. That's crazy. So go back it. You won't regret it. I've read this. I've read the Gollum backup. Fantastic work. A lot of fun. And if you missed the first issue is there too. If you read the first issue, then you know what you're getting, but it's only going to get crazier.
And what's shocking, Josh, is that we've had a lot of new backers in this campaign.
Yeah.
A lot. It's been it's pretty much 70-30, 70 new, 30 returning, which is interesting. But
nice.
And a lot of people have gotten the catch-up bundle, which is
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, people, if you're watching this and you haven't heard about this yet, but yeah, the book is done. D-U-N done. So we're just going to be reviewing the print file, and then it's off to the printers here in a couple weeks, and hopefully, best case scenario, everything is delivered to the Comic Mint in August and gets fulfilled by the end of August.
Hell yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we're not waiting 5 years for a single book. Not that I'm going to say any names. I wouldn't do that. I totally wouldn't do that, but I'm not going to. No, super excited. I can't wait for this to, wrap up and start getting in people's hands. And then I can't wait to hear people say, oh gosh, I should have gotten that Gollum book, because you should have.
Yes.
But yeah, we will be doing a stream Sunday to wrap up the campaign on Wes's channel for Thinking Critical, and looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun way to wrap up this weekend, and it'll be a good time with a lot of people that contributed to the book on the show. I'll be there. Aaron's going to be leading with Drew, so it's going to be a fun time. So if you don't have anything to do Sunday afternoon, come hang out with us and just chill with a bunch of nerds. But Drewski, before we get into the floppy and the drop-in of this week, let's see who all's here in the comments section and what they have to say. Coming in with the first comment of the night is MG himself, the Thursday night Wednesday show. Let's go! Indeed. Yeah, these are always fun shows for me, just because it's one, doesn't take a ton of prep in terms of making slides and stuff. And sometimes I'm sure there'll be a lot of firing off the cuff tonight about some of these books, because whole buddy.
Especially the first one we're going to talk about.
I mean, yes, but also so for everyone context, I popped in the backstage and I was like, hey Drewski, how are you? I was like, dude, this week's book sucked balls. Not in a good way. But yeah, we'll start going through those in a second. And I know MG is super excited to hear our takes. But he also put, I realized when the show ended the other night, I was like an hour and a half behind, but also I couldn't figure out why Josh wasn't showing my message, because I thought it was awesome. He's like, why aren't you showing my message? And he's an hour and a half behind. I love it. I did pull up some of your messages, so no worries there. We do have Kaiser Jose in the house coming in with the Station Nerds. What's up, fellow nerd? How are you? Station. We've got Jamin D with a rock on, brother. Ezekiel is in the house. Hey guys, hello, good sir. And we got Rudy dropping in to smash a like. I appreciate it, sir. And let's see, Kaiser Jose coming in with a Gollum will sell at all the cons. Are you thinking about ever taking it and trying to sell it at the con, or is this just a campaign and that's it?
I'm going to talk that over with Aaron, because he co-wrote this with me. So we're going to talk about that, but because we want to make these limited and special, and just not something that's going to be reprinted till the end of time. But we'll talk about it.
Nice. MG says the book is done. I seen it. I have seen it. And then for Gollum, I seen it. I seen Gollum literally over a year ago, and all I kept saying was, bro. So I think
MG real quick. Since you're a fan of original art, we have the original art from Aurelio's cover up on the campaign. We have the inks and the pencils separately available on the campaign if you haven't seen those yet.
Indeed. We also have Max coming in, the comic crusader himself, Maxfield Von Priestley, with what was the worst book that y'all read this week? Oh, you know what, Max? I'm not going to answer that now because I think that's something we'll have to talk through and then decide. But geez,
I've got a top two. I've got two that are clearly at the very top. But yeah, we'll talk about them.
I think I may have been in just a situation where I kept reading and I kept getting more angry as I was reading because everything was bad. That I'm like, even something that was just it was yeah. I'm like, fuck this, like motherfucker. So yeah. But there were certain moments in books that I would see a image or see the dialogue of a panel, and I'd literally like, oh my god, come on.
Look, this is not hyperbole, and
No.
and we talked about this behind the scenes. I'm waiting for Wes because Wes and I, we don't talk about what we're going to be recommending beforehand. I'll usually find out maybe an hour or so before we go live, and but I'm willing to wager that we've only done it once where we just did not do a best of the week because the books were just that bad. I'm willing to bet you this is going to be that second week where we will not have anything to recommend. This week is that bad. This is arguably the second worst week of comics I've ever read in the last 3 or 4 years.
It's rough. We're about to get into it, but yeah, it's rough.
It's honestly the worst. Look, the worst weeks really stick out, and I remember those. And this week, I cannot believe, honestly, how bad this week is.
Yeah. MG is coming in with, I haven't read this week's Medieval Spawn, but the book has generally been a good read, but the art was below grade. I haven't been reading that title, so there's a good chance I'm missing out on something solid or decent. But
they need a JC Grande, and it would have made up for it.
Yeah, get a JC Grande in there. It'll look very nice, very nice. But yeah, I think what was that?
Very tight.
Very tight. Oh yeah. By the way, Borat himself showing up on. Can you imagine? Oh, hold on. I got to segue real quick. First of all, I've got to say, and Ironheart, terrible show. It's awful. It's god awful. But I really like Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto.
Yeah, apparently he is the best part of the whole damn show. Like those however many minutes he's in the show.
And they half-assed it so bad. Like he's literally just a dude with long hair. But he does. I'm glad he's getting this because I feel like for years I felt like he should be doing more dramatic roles, and he got pigeonholed into his comedy stuff. But the guy can act.
Hey, he had a very expensive divorce, so he's got to pay for that divorce.
Yeah. But can you imagine if they had Ironheart, and I don't know if you've seen the clip, but his lair where he gets people, makes deals, is like a pizza place, pizza parlor, and if she's like, where the hell am I? And he's like, Yakshamesh, my name is Borat.
It's funny you said someone took a scene from the Borat film where he's in his village in Kazakhstan or whatever, and they made him look all red and they added horns. He says, I go to Marvel Universe. I go to MCU.
Oh, God. This my sister, number 1 or number 2 prostitute in all of Kazakhstan. Oh, Jesus. I need to go revisit that. Yeah, we'll have to.
We're talking about Borat. Sorry. When we get Borat has one of there's 2 or 3 movies I can remember laughing so hard I cried. Borat has one of those moments. It's when Borat is naked chasing his other guy naked through the hotel. I am dying laughing in that scene.
I remember being in the theater, like pretty much to the point of tears in that moment. And then I also remember getting my dad to watch that once it came out on DVD. And my dad was just sitting there like, what the fuck are you making me watch? And I was like, it's fantastic. But he didn't realize that, he thought like everything was scripted. He didn't realize that Sacha Baron Cohen and these people were playing characters with real people. So once I explained that, he was like, oh, okay, this is great. And I was like, yeah, see? But yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this week's books, Drew. And I want to start with a very special debut that came out this week. And I think this may be the one book that you really liked, if I'm not mistaken.
This is going to go down as probably the book of the year.
Book of the year, Captain America, Our Secret Wars Part 1, written by Chip Zdarsky, taking over Cap. Nothing like a Canadian coming in to write, one of the greatest, I guess, depictions of America that we have in comic books. But what did you think about this book, Drew?
Oh, this is going to go down as one of the greatest runs of Captain America. It's going to rival Mark Grunwald. I think he just put Mark Grunwald in his place, and he just made Mark Waid his bitch, put him on all fours, and slapped him across the ass. Honestly, no. This comic is terrible. I absolutely hated this comic. If there's one thing I hate, it is American politics and American military members written by communist Canadians, especially those who weren't in the United States when September 11th happened.
Right.
And look, I'm of the age, I'm 41. I enlisted in the United States Air Force in 2003, went into basic in January 2004. I went literally right after September 11th. So, I mean, guys like Chip won't admit it, or probably didn't realize it. But look, America, we were angry. A lot of Americans were angry, and I was angry, and a lot of New Yorkers were angry, and we wanted payback. And I was ready and willing to die for my country. I was ready and willing to serve my country, and I'm glad I did. I'm proud of the time I served. But this point of view he is providing is so negative. That's one word to describe it. Very negative. Just how people were right after September 11th, and not really realizing just how patriotic America was. America had not been that patriotic in a very, very, very long time. And guys like Chip will never recognize that. Will not recognize that. And this is just a very just cynical, negative view of America and American politics post September 11th.
Yeah.
And he's looking at it from the perspective like 10 years after September 11th, which is like, okay, that's a point of view, but you got to go back to because I'm led to believe this is like around 03 or 04 when this is going on, because you know it takes right after September 11th. Hell, it could be 2002 for all we know. But I'll stop. I'll let you go.
No, I was gonna say, we're talking about how other people write it, but even here within the States, I think the way people they misremember how the nation felt after 9/11, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, no, like we were not gonna going back and getting some revenge. And I'm like, no, the entire country was like unified. It's the most unified I've ever seen our country.
Yeah, people will not. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people reading this could be not of that age. A lot of them could have been probably born when September 11th happened. I keep forgetting I'm of that age now. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I was there, and I'm like I said before, I'm proud of the time I served. I'm glad I enlisted. I'm proud of it, and I'm glad I went overseas. I'm glad I went to Baghdad, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, Afghanistan. I did my time in the sandbox. I'm proud of it. But hey, that's what it is. But this is, like I said, this is a very negative, cynical point of view from a socialist Canadian.
Yeah, there's a point, and I can't remember which character says it, but there's a point where a character refers to the wars as a racist propaganda.
Yes, it is the quote unquote new Steve Rogers. It's his mom talking to him when he's in basic or whatever. Okay,
That's
now
right.
here's another problem. Like, I wish Max was here too. Max, you're missing out on the fun right now. Max, you got to be in on this because, look, going into basic training post September 11th compared to 1941 is vastly, vastly, vastly different. If you're someone like this redheaded stepchild is in here, and he's got asthma and whatever else, he's not getting in. There's waivers for stuff, but no, he's likely not going to get in. And if he does, there's going to be a fucking shit ton of lawsuits going on, and it's not going to turn out well for anyone. And on top of that, you have him getting his ass kicked in basic or his base by his drill sergeant. I'm like, whoa. This isn't, whatever point of view he's providing, this is not realistic in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
If you're invoking September 11th, you got to invoke some verisimilitude. And whatever attempt at verisimilitude you're having at this army base and basic training, it is not fucking realistic whatsoever.
No. This is the scene. So this is the kid we're talking about, this redheaded kid who they're trying to set up as this like modern day Steve Rogers, which I'm sure they're going to end up making him probably like an extremist. If I had to guess, that's where I guess.
It seems like they're gonna make him like they set up afterwards like that 1950s Captain America when Cap was under the ice, who went crazy, blah blah blah. I think this is going to be that new stand-in, since they've apparently pushing forward the timeline now.
Yeah. It really weird stuff here. The very first page with this character, I didn't mind. Actually, if there's one thing that I actually really enjoyed about this book, it was the first page. So let me go back up to that real quick. Because this first page, he's seeing like we got 9/11, the towers are falling, and you got his inner monologue here. And you can see that he's angry, like this isn't sad or scared, this is anger. And if you've ever experienced that anger where you start crying because you know where you could let yourself go, you're that angry. So for me, I thought this was a great first page. He's talking about, is this something he could do, meaning going into the military, facing death, potentially killing people. I thought this was a fantastic first page. So I read this first page and I was like, ooh, okay, I kind of like what we're doing here. And then we just immediately kind of went to hell in a handbasket.
I was laughing out loud when we get to this Gulf War veteran who has a bomb strapped to his chest. I'm laughing out loud just how fucking stupid this is.
Well, first off, I'll say that I found this issue confusing because I thought this was like continuing with current continuity, like current day continuity, whatever, Cap doing adventures. So I'm reading this and you've got the whole, Cap rolls up to the scene and he's like, where are the shooters? And you got the officer that's, providing CPR being like, he took my bike, went down to Madison, said he's going to the UN building, was going to kill them. First of all, I'm like, what world are we having the supervillain that's like, got the bomb strapped around me? Well, he's not even Russian. He's American because he was in the army. He's like, I got the bomb strapped around me. Like, I'm going to go blow up the UN building. Like, who's just going to openly say that? Like, no one. But she's over here talking to Cap this whole time. They're having like a full conversation. And he's like, where's the UN building? And this was the first one I was like, wait, what? Like this seems like, I remember going, why wouldn't he know where the UN building is? Of course he knows where it is. And then she's still answering, and in the middle of answering, she's like, wait, are you not a cop? I'm like, what are we doing? I get something tragic just happened. She's trying to keep her partner alive. I understand. But I still feel like officers in those moments, instead of just being clueless, I feel like they tend to have a more heightened awareness because you just had someone shooting at you, that you would notice that this isn't a cop that you're talking to, like from the word go. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's fine. Nice reveal, but it was a stupid setup. And then, this guy is retired military that's got a bomb because he doesn't believe in what's going on. And look, our reflection of 9/11 and how we felt after it doesn't mean that everything our country did following it was perfect. Like,
well, this guy is set up as a Gulf War veteran. So we're talking like 1991 Gulf War veteran. And he doesn't even look that old either.
No. But I hate how like Cap stops him, because like this guy's ready to just end it all. And then Cap's like, "Oh, as your superior, I'm telling you to stand down." And then he's just like, "Oh, okay. Well, since you're a captain and I was just a lieutenant, I guess. Yeah, man." Crap.
Crazy reasons with crazy.
No one told me I was gonna run into a captain on the way that was gonna pull rank, man. Like
a guy who's been so, doesn't believe in the military and so angry at it that he decides to listen to someone who's a rank above him. I love that.
I don't know if I think Chip thought he was writing a nice touching moment here or a powerful moment here, and I'm like,
work.
This not at all. It seems hokey and stupid. And honestly, I kind of wish that if you were going to try to play this out, like, hey, there's bad here in these wars, which I think we can all agree there's bad in war. But sometimes war is necessary for protection or whatever it might be. But I wish that if you wanted to portray like here's some of the bad that you can get from war, I wish this guy would have just been broken. Like he served, he lost a number of friends and like other soldiers that he was serving with, that they had all passed away.
Maybe he lost a limb.
Maybe he lost a limb. And then if he's in the Gulf War and he's looking at what's going on and he's just going, no, we're repeating the same problems, and is angry about it, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe his anger, like, let him set the bomb off, let him take out a few people. I know it sounds harsh, but then it's like, you're not helping. Like that really sets the tone of like, you're so broken that you don't realize you're actually just causing more harm.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's a nitpick, but look, another thing that people don't realize, people like Chip, is that there was a heightened level of security in big cities like this after September 11th. Mm-hmm. So I guarantee you, no one is getting that close to the UN building, after September 11th. It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. If I were starting the story, because this is supposed to be right after Cap got de-thawed, de-iced, defrosted, whatever the hell you want to call it. To me, that would be a huge shell shock for the change in culture. If you go from like 1940s World War II America to suddenly you're seeing people in the streets of New York blow themselves up and kill other people, if that doesn't tell you like, oh God, this is a completely different world that I'm in now. Like it's same world, but just the mentality and everything has changed. To me, that would do that. It would be a shocking way to start the story. But no, we don't. We're just homeboy. All right. I guess you pulled rank, so whoops. And then Tony swoops in and, it's a, digital device. I don't worry. I defused it. We're good. This whole thing, I hated. I just absolutely hated. And even here, this whole conversation about the idea of a United Nations, and then Steve being like, and you say it's designed to stop future world wars. But I just misread this, but I read this in a way that he doesn't agree that it's going to stop world wars.
Yeah, he just. I'm really trying to understand. Like, you're playing it like he's dumb. That's what it really sounds like. You're trying to make it sound like he's an idiot.
Yes, very much so.
A building of peace? What is this? What is peace?
What? We think a United Nations is going to stop conflict?
Well, Mongo, no, it's not going to pawn in Game of Life. I don't know what's going on here. Mongo don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like clearly it's not going to stop everything, but and again, also not perfect. A lot of flaws there, but it does keep some countries in check to a degree.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, really weird stuff throughout this issue. I feel like we spend way too much time with this Steve 2.0. For all the ladies in the haze, we got shirtless Steve for a bit. I will say though, there were parts where I really liked the artwork, and parts where I was like, something seems off here, but I couldn't fully place it.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like you said, I agree with what you said on both counts. And like the stuff that doesn't look real, it feels like it's traced. There's something about it. It looks like it was traced. Like I'm not saying he did, but it doesn't look real. It doesn't look like he illustrated it.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, this is where we see him getting into a fight while in basic. There's another instance later where he gets the crap beat out of him. I will say one of my problems with this book too was on top of me trying to figure out like, oh, okay, we are going back to when Cap just came out of the ice, and then followed by the question of why. That was kind of pulling me from the story. For me, it felt a little confusing, but the transitions in this book were awful.
Yes. There is no transition. It's just there are like a lot of hard cuts.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like you literally have this fight going on, and this soldiers beat the crap out of our Cap 2.0 or one of the Cap 2.0.
Let's remember this would never happen.
No.
There would be
the kid comes back, gets an upper hand.
Okay, real quick. Sorry, I got to interject. Look, I am aware, yes, that because I was in the military, yes, you do hand-to-hand combat stuff in the basic training. I do, yes, duh. But it does not go this extreme.
No.
If it does, the training instructors put an end to it, and because they know there'd be fucking lawsuits involved if this were to happen.
Yep. But yeah, you've got this where the kid kind of makes a comeback, knocks the guy off his feet. He pulls his version of the "I could do this all day" and says, "I'm not crying." And it looks like he's going to repeat himself and say, "I'm not." And the dude slugs the crap out of him. And you think you're going to keep going, and no, you're suddenly with the Fantastic Four.
Hard cut. No transition.
Fighting a giant mole. I'm not going to lie. When I had this page turn, I thought this was an ad for something else.
For the Fantastic Four movie.
Well, for a Fantastic Four book, or you know how they'll make the Fantastic, like sometimes they'll have ads and it's got comic dialogue and looks like a comic, but then there's something about like Snickers in the very bottom right panel. I thought that's what it was. So I just saw this top panel and was like, oh, this is an ad, and went to go to the next page. But then I realized, oh shit, no, Cap's here. Oh wait, this is part of the book. Whoops. But yeah, Cap meets up with the Fantastic Four. All of this feels heavy-handed to me, like the meeting and talking about things, and I need to find what do you say, Mr. Fantastic, or I'm looking for Mr. Fantastic, and then we need to have a talk.
Yep.
And then they're
Capture Hans Mole Man. Yep.
Yeah. Then they're talking about Victor Von Doom, and you get in this just like, this is where I'm just like, oh, Chip, why? Like, why? I'm having flashbacks to kind of what he did in his Batman run right there at the very end with that Americana vigilante, or not vigilante, but villain that they tried to act like was a vigilante. But a lot of weird conversations. This was weird too. People come up and like, oh, hey, aren't you like Mr. Fantastic? And he changes his face. He's like, no, just some guy.
I don't like how young Reed looks with those gray temples. It doesn't fit. It doesn't work.
Agreed. But yeah, I don't know. For me, this whole book was just a weird first issue. Like, it just a lot of odd choices. And here's where this part with the Cap 2.0 gets super unbelievable. Like,
this is where I laughed out loud because I mean, look, if you've been, like I said, I'm a military veteran. I'm an active duty military veteran. Max, if he's watching, he's an active duty military veteran as well. He will tell you that this is bullshit. This would never happen ever in today's environment in the military.
Yeah, you got this kid. One, it's like lights out, but he's like, I'm gonna get my little book over here and read. Of course, it's a book about Captain America. But like as everyone else is sleeping, his SO comes in and gets him. Whatever, that guy comes in, gets him, drags him outside, calls him an embarrassment, beats the shit out of him in the middle of the night. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy.
Well, look, so I think I told you, Josh, and others, like I've been watching Nip Tuck recently because I never got to finish the last 2 seasons, and I have been laughing my ass off in every episode because of how over the top absurd every episode is. That segment is reminiscent to a segment of Nip Tuck. It's just over the top and absurd. It is bullshit. That would never ever happen.
Yeah, like he's got the kid. Apparently, he kicks him so hard that he's bleeding from his ribs. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, Chip, you are full of shit. This would never happen.
But this kid's like, no, I'm never gonna leave, and I'm like, okay, bro, sure. Like,
let's see what the doctor says when you get out of the ER. Yeah, I don't. Let's see what the colonel says when he sees your X-rays. Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah. But the kid has asthma, so he's having trouble breathing here at the end when he's in the hospital. And suddenly someone's handing him his inhaler. And could it potentially be Cap? Could it be Cap? Nope. It's his training officer. He's there. And he's like, You're never gonna be nothing, boy. You are the gum on the bottom of my shoe. You are the piss that's at my feet. But I can make you something. I could cure that. Oh, not even I can make you something. I could cure that asthma. Bro, I don't think that's his only problem. Like,
he would not have been everything about this is absurdly stupid. God. I'm laughing. It's like I'm torn between laughing my ass off and being pissed off. Because there's no verisimilitude here. There's no realism here.
Well, and
as much as Chip is trying to place it and say it's post September 11th, invoking this real world mentalities feel to it, by doing this shit, you are eliminating that real world feel from it because this is not real.
Nope. And look, the idea of like, hey, let's take a kid that witnessed 9/11 and became inspired to fight for what's right, fight for justice, fight for the country. And we're gonna kind of put him through the paces that Steve went through, where he isn't the obvious choice, but his heart is gonna make him something special. That could be something fun to explore. But when you go this absurd and this extreme, I can't take it seriously at all. And it's laughable, but it's also like really frustrating to a degree.
It shows me this. It shows me that Chip never talked to anyone in the military. That's what it tells me.
No. But yeah, then we kind of start wrapping this issue up where they're building a team, and of course we're gonna get a girl boss that comes in here. So yeah, they mentioned that she's part of the Howling Commandos, and Steve is like, Howling Commandos, big name to live up to, soldier. And she's like, we're Marines, soldier. So she's already just being a dick.
God damn it.
Female. And then follows that up with graciously letting an army fossil join us. Like, oh, okay, so this is what we're gonna have to deal with for the rest of this run, is this bitch right here.
Yeah, thanks, Chip. This is gonna be a very enjoyable read. Appreciate it.
So let's get the angry lesbian soldier that hates Steve Rogers because he's the good white guy. That's very much how it comes across.
Real quick, that costume Cap has on, it looks fucking terrible.
It's awful. I don't know what this whole star thing is that's going on his chest and why it's black. I don't know. Like, he shouldn't be to this point yet. Yeah, I don't know. Like, when he became Nomad and he removed his flag and everything, like, there's purpose behind it. This just seems weird. But he still has
this is post. This is like right after the ice thawed.
Yeah,
he should be hanging out with the Avengers.
Yeah,
and none of this makes any goddamn sense.
Nope. But we haven't met the rest of the team. There's still one guy left that's kind of leading the charge. And you can see Steve has his shield, but there's someone else coming in that has their shield as well. And who could it be, Drew? Who could be the guy with the shield? Could it be Homeboy Cap
Howdy
2.0?
Doody. Howdy Doody.
Okay. Well, yeah. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't have high hopes for this in general, but I was at least thinking that Chip has delivered some good work. Maybe, just maybe, this would end up being okay. And I was not a fan at all. There was a lot of stuff that pissed me off about this. There's a lot of stuff that just, even from a writing standpoint, felt heavy-handed and like a joke. And I did not like this issue. So I don't know if you feel the same.
No, I absolutely hated this comic. Look, I'm laughing at how hard at how absurd it is. I'm laughing hard at how he's trying to invoke this real world feel right after September 11th, but he's doing all of this absurd, over the top, unrealistic moments in this book that would never, ever, ever happen post September 11th in the military. It's ridiculous, and it takes me right out of it. And the dialogue in this is absurd. It's terrible. I am dreading where this is going in the next few issues. I'm absolutely dreading it. And we're going to talk about League of Comic Geeks. This is getting a lot of love, which is scaring the shit out of me. And
yeah,
it's terrifying.
It is super terrifying. We will look at League of Comic Geeks. Before we do that, I do want to come over and see what the chat has to say about this book. But let's see. We've got MG with Chip Zdarsky can go on a trip to the sun with Dennis Camp. Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. Guys but I thought you guys were being serious about Cat being good. Oh man, nope. Yeah, look, I agree. For the most part, I actually enjoyed the art. There was just some, I mentioned it earlier, there were just moments that something felt off and I couldn't figure out what it was. And they draw Cap's eyes so light blue that for me, that threw me off a couple of times. But overall, I wasn't unhappy with the art. I think it's actually solid art. And my complaints are more nitpicks more than anything. Look, it's some of the best art at Marvel right now, unfortunately.
Which is, we all know it's a very low bar at Marvel.
It's a very low bar. We got Zax in the house with Joshy Poo. What's up, Zaxy? How are you? And let's see. Kaiser put this book has 15 variants and they're all trash.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what's interesting is that I'm thinking back to the Ta-Nehisi Coates run at Captain America when that kicked off. And that had some kick-ass variants for that #1 issue. Kick-ass variants. The book was shit, but kick-ass variants. This is the opposite. And like the variants of this book are not good at all. That is right. And I'd be embarrassed to have any of those covers in my house.
Yeah, it looks like there's 2 that I don't mind, but I don't think I'm crazy. The only other one is the one where it looks like it's got the flag as the background and coming out as the floor, and I think they use it as like the promotional image for a lot of the announcements. And Cap's like throwing a shield. Like that one doesn't look bad, but a lot of these do not look good either. So, yeah, poop. Salty Traveling Sea came in with Captain America was dog shit. My LCS owner was just ragging on it. Yeah, not good. Hell, even Rockin' Robbie was like, yeah, this isn't good.
No! Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
100%.
Seriously?
The
shill of shills.
The shill of shills. I think he was kind of over this week because there were a couple of times where he was like, so with this is one of the first books he talked about, and he hadn't fully gotten into like, fuck this, I'm done. But for this, he's like, yeah, it's this book is weird. This book is really weird. It's weird. And then he starts trying to explain why he thinks it's weird, and he starts talking about how, like, I don't want a Cat book where you're going back. Like, I don't want to see him coming out of the ice. I don't want that. And then as he's talking about it, he's just getting more frustrated. He's like, it's not a good book. Chip Zdarsky, you're writing like great character. You have the chance to do something awesome. This is not it. And I'm like, oh, he's getting a little temperamental. But there's a point later in his videos, or a video from this week, where he pulls a Trump and he goes, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh no, they don't have any. Yeah, they don't have any ideas, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And well, I'll talk about that book when we get to that. But yeah, so God, it was not good. Let's see. Salty put the town where my LCS is a huge has a huge Navy base. Apparently, several customers complain about Captain America and wanted their money back. Oh dang!
Boom.
Yeah.
See, look. Okay, so it's not just me. I guarantee you. I wish, like I said, I wish Max were here right now talking about this with us.
Yeah.
If you're a military service member, at any point, post September 11th, and you read this, you see what happens. You're going to be calling horseshit on this because this is bullshit. None of that would have happened. None of that. None. N-U-N. None of that would happen.
I was given the nun prayer, the salute, none N-U-N. Yeah, no, it's again, all of it just feels like a joke. But then, unfortunately, we go over to a little site called League of Comic Geeks, and
oof, man,
4.4 out of 5, very positive score, and that's 860 people rating it to give it that.
Where's the meteor? We need the meteor. God.
Yeah, real quick, I'll just say this cover I did not hate. It kind of reminds me of like the Jeff Loeb colored comics.
It's too dark.
Like,
it's
way,
way too dark.
No, I agree. I'm just saying I don't hate it. I don't think it's dog shit, but I don't think it's fantastic. I think it could have been better. But the one that I actually liked or didn't really mind was this one. I thought it was perfectly fine. So,
yeah.
But yeah, let's go look and see what the folks over at League of Comic Geeks are saying. Some of these are long reviews. I'm not going to read them, but you've got Steve the Goat Rogers is back. This kind of blew me away. I had high expectations because I love Zdarsky's Daredevil run, but this was crazy good, and it might be too early to say, but I see this potentially becoming the best retelling of Steve Rogers' return to the modern age.
Oh my God.
Hold on, I gotta explain this because now I feel like I have to keep reading now that I'm seeing this. He continues with, Zdarsky has clearly thought everything through. You shut your mouth. And chose a very good time period to set this in, which I'll discuss more in the spoiler section. Bro, look.
I'm trying not to laugh so hard. This is fucking ridiculous.
I will agree that choosing this time period is fairly interesting. Like, it's going to feel fresh to a degree because it's recent. You know, it's not like something that's been done or retold 20 times over the past 60 years. Like, I get it. But the way Chip did it is god awful. It's so bad. Let's see. Comic Nation 1776 coming in with 4.5 stars says Chip Zdarsky delivers a Cap who's weary, thoughtful, and spiritually awake. And man, that line, do they still have God in this world? And is he listening? Hits hard. I actually think that's a good line. And this goes back to what I was kind of mentioning earlier. Like, if you want to show how much we've changed as a society, at least our depiction of things, from 1940, you know, Americana, everything to where we are now as a nation within America. I think it's fine that Cap would probably ask that. Like, the country itself has moved away from being a God-fearing country to a godless country. Yes. And people within the States are more hateful and less respectful to each other within the States. So, yeah.
It is a very, very stark contrast to 2001. Today to 2001.
Yeah.
Wow.
Agreed. But yeah, so I understand that there, but I hate everything else Chip did with Cap here. Let's see. So we got literally Zatanna. It's literally Zatanna. Cap has never been one of my favorite superheroes. I was first introduced to him in the MCU and have read some, but not very many of his comic appearances. He seems like a good guy, but forgive me if the patriotism and working for the government doesn't give me much confidence in his character overall.
on, what is it?
Yeah.
We need Aaron here too. Aaron would get a kick out of this. Oh my god.
I mean, I think what people missed about this is, and look, we said this earlier, we're not a perfect nation. We've done a lot of terrible things. We've made a lot of mistakes. Like I'm not like rah go government, but
and hey, you bring up a great point. When the 9/11 Commission came out, yeah, there were a ton of mistakes made, a ton of red flags that went up that were ignored. Yes, we do mistakes.
But I think what these people tend to miss when they make comments like that is what Captain America is supposed to represent. Captain America is supposed to represent the best of our nation and what we should be and should strive to be and aspire to be
as a country. Yes.
So, like, just because bad people do bad things within our nation, because clearly it happens, doesn't mean our nation overall is bad. There's plenty of good people here trying to do the right thing, trying to do the best thing. Sometimes, we get led astray, but God, like the fact that people just can't understand, like, no, this is supposed to, he's supposed to be the best of us.
Yeah, and Chip giving this horrible take on the military and the army, it angers me. I was in the Air Force, and that angers me as a veteran. And an asshole communist from Canada who has no clue about the United States military.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and read a few more because, God, some of these are just, oh, buddy. But we're going to go down a little bit to Tumblr, who 5 stars, guys, 5 stars, put, for me, this was outstanding. It's definitely a reset for Cap lore, taking place after the Iraq War, but while the fighting was still heavy in Afghanistan, so maybe around 2012.
No.
I think, no. I think
this is clearly like 04. Like 03, 04, 05. I guess he went because I forget when that statue of Saddam came down. Yeah. That had to have been 2003, I think.
Was it that?
Maybe it was 02. Hold on.
I'm pulling it up. 2003.
Yeah, so this has to be this is literally when I was in the Air Force, when I went in.
Yeah.
04.
But, I'm amused because this guy, it's like, it's got to be around this time, right? And I'm like, bro, you have literal historical events happening in this. You can Google them. It takes 2 seconds. I just did it. And then he puts, sorry if that's a spoiler for anyone. And he goes, anyway, I loved it. I know enough of Cap to know his legend, but aside from his appearance in other books I've read, I've never followed a series of his. Yeah.
Okay. This is getting into an even bigger problem. Huge problem is that you have a lot of people jumping in on this who know nothing about Cap, and this is the first thing they're reading about Captain America, and that is scaring the ever-loving shit out of me.
Yeah.
And this is something I would never, ever, 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 ever have anyone read for their first Captain America experience.
No. No. I do want to read how he ends this because, okay. But he puts 5 stars. This book was perfect for me, and I'll remember it for quite a while. The characters are how I like them, and the story was solid. I would highly recommend this to friends. Well worth the cover price. I want to bet you $100 that this guy wears a certain scarf and chants a certain phrase. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's got that turn of the century handle, like weird mustache, and he's got a Che Guevara shirt on, and with the scarf over it. Yeah, half head shaved, gauges. Yeah.
Oh God, there's so many. Oh my God,
this is disturbing. Look, I mean, there are comments in the past where I've been like, okay, I can go with it, whatever. But no, this is outright disturbing. It's only been recently. It's only been recently, like the last few times where I've been disturbed by the comments left. The first one was with the Daniel Warren, was with the Transformers news about Dan Mora and
oh God,
Robert Kirkman,
where people were like, white bread mayonnaise picks. Like, why didn't you pick Alice Cott?
It's like, what the fuck are we talking about here? And this, I'm like, who are these people? This is insane.
Yeah.
I got to remember, these are people who've never read Captain America before.
Well, these are people that I look, and these are also people we talked about this. We were talking about this in terms of the stance of people writing the comics, but we're clearly seeing it's also the people that are reading these books of people that have never actually had to endure actual hardship in their life.
Yeah.
And look, before anyone's like, oh my God, how can you say that? Like, it's tougher for younger people to look. I get in terms of job, pay, trying to buy a home. Yes, those things are substantially more difficult for young people stepping into their adult life right now. I get it. But I'm talking about hardship where you've like literally been in a war. Like, I think this is kind of the first generation that hasn't had some type of attack or something going on that has greatly impacted their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I don't know, man. I think we have a lot of nurtured people in this country that don't know what the real world is like, and they've become
Nurtured,
so
pampered. Yeah.
yep
Just
they've become so entitled and so misguided for what they think they know, but their perspective is so off, that they don't realize how wrong they are. I want to read one more. This one's from JD. Goes, oh, this is gonna be great.
Josh, I'm gonna be right back. Give me like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
You
I'll
go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna watch. This is gonna be the moment that my mic stops. You guys watch. But JD put, oh, this is gonna be great. Not that there was ever a chance it wouldn't be. Oh, okay. He goes, I love that it doesn't try to dance around any of the timeline stuff. I don't know how you say that it doesn't. Maybe just strictly Marvel continuity, but okay, sure, whatever. There's no question about when this takes place, and the fact that it's so direct about it makes me think Cap or Chip must know exactly what story he wants to tell in the series. I think Chip has an idea of the story he wants to tell. I just don't think he understands our history like he should to tell that story. Since Drewski's away, let me look at a few more.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, we're gonna look at J Rush because they put okay, just wow. As an opener issue, this was a banger. The artwork by Shitty and the color were fantastic, and they fit each other so well. Sure, I'll go with that. We're good. The book looks fantastic. Cool. I won't hate on that. And then this issue, we are seeing the untold tale of Steve Rogers as he wakes up in the 21st century. We get to see some familiar faces as the modern Marvel universe is taking shape. And then, hold on, let me expand real quick.
So, if we really think about this, because like we see the Fantastic Four brought in, it really seems like instead of 1961, it's 2001 when things are really kicking off in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of got to see this done in the films, though. So that would be my only comment. They didn't focus on like 9/11, but still. But no, this is what I really wanted to read. Chip's voice for Steve was really strong. I really liked his dialogue, and that scene with Reed was just fantastic. Pun totally intended. The commentary was on the lighter side for now. I don't know if I'd say the commentary is on the lighter side when it was as heavy-handed as it was.
Very heavy-handed.
Yeah. But it was handled perfectly, and it really overshadowed the story. Oh, it really didn't overshadow the story, sorry. The overall plot feels very familiar, and it's basically Secret Wars, not wars, all over again, but technically before in the timeline. Yeah, okay, sure. I don't know.
I'm trying to. So bear in mind, this story, people who are noobs to this, this story that he is telling us is apparently taking place before Cap joins the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I find it very, 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 very hard to believe that these events will be taking place right before Cap joins the Avengers. All of this happening. It doesn't make sense logically.
Hey Drew, this Necron King says he's tempted to pick up all variants. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. Oh yeah, I don't know. This book is a hot mess express. Let's see how the chat reacted to the the comments from League of Comic Geeks. Although let me stop sharing real quick. First off, I will say we've got Dean Costarellis coming in. Happy 4th of July to both of you and your families. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Happy 4th to you. Happy 4th to everyone watching. I hope you guys do something fun to celebrate. Be safe. Make smart choices. Don't drink and drive. Maybe get drunk and shoot Roman candles at your brothers, because who doesn't do that on the 4th of July? But
yeah,
but you can pretend to be a Captain America and grab like a trash. Well, I guess trash cans don't have lids like they used to, but just snap yours off with the flippy ones. Use it as a shield. Kaiser Jose put, I'm convinced these guys are getting paid to post those reviews. I wish, man. I just think we have a lot of
we have a lot of people who I've learned over time is people who just read a comic. They don't stop to analyze what they're reading. They just read the words. They don't really think critically about what they're reading, about what they just read. There's a lot of that going on.
Well,
and we're seeing that here.
For them to analyze it and think critically, they tend to have some basis of knowledge, right? And I don't know if you've ever seen those like TikToks where that guy's like walking around the streets of like New York and stuff. He's like, "Hey, how many states are in the United States?" And
I love that.
I don't know, 32. And you're like, "Holy shit!" And then they're like, "Hey, how many months are in a year?" 9. And I'm like, "Oh my god, this can't be like how." I feel like I need to go find some of those now and just post them to Twitter afterwards, because it's depressing. And then I'm like, these people are voting. Not only are they voting, they think that whatever they saw on TikTok or whatever is true, and they are like gung ho that this is the truth. And I'm like, no, bro, you just said there's like 9 months in a year. Like, you should have learned this in kindergarten. There's 12.
No,
but. We got Salty Traveling Sea with what a bunch of commie douchebags, and then driving and dictating sucks. Oh yeah, yep, Salty Traveling Sea also with do the math on the kid, the continuity and what it's supposed to. Aegis is wrong. Yep. Math is hard. It's like so hard. PLO LARPing gender confusion. I was like, what? But yeah, no, makes sense now that I've fully read it. The day later, welcome, brother. Nice to see you here. I could be wrong, but isn't Dixie Meyer saying that this is a good comic, or is his thumbnail title a lot? I
have no idea who that is.
I don't really know who that is.
Oh, Richard Meyer. Richard Meyer.
Oh, okay. Yep. So, Yasoy Whack. Is he saying it's a good comic?
There's no way there's no fucking way.
I mean, he's off his rocker right now. The guy's
yes, he is
turned into a fucking loon. Look, if he liked it, I wouldn't be surprised. But he also, I'm willing to bet he thinks Ironheart's a good show too. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Kaiser Jose put Sparrow is right. Stop supporting Marvel. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You know what I'm gonna say? I think we need to clear out the editors at the big two and get new ones in.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would solve a lot of problems, because before you had people that were intelligent enough and based enough to be like, no, we're not posting this shit. This is wrong or terrible or awful or whatever it might be.
This is what I mean. The argument for gatekeeping is verified here. We need that.
Yeah. And then Kaiser put my favorites when they can't name 5 North American countries. Can you give me some North American countries? Alabama. And like, no, those are states, but okay. Yeah, poor kids. Well, Drew, I'm gonna say I'm definitely not putting this in the bag, and I'm going to drop this in the bin.
Yeah, I'm dropping this in the bin. This is terrible.
Yep, indeed. That felt satisfying. let's keep looking at some new comics. We had a string of like 3 X books that came out this week.
Oof.
So I'm going to start with the best one that we had this week, and it is X-Men: The Hellfire Vigil.
I fucking hated this comic. This is the one I was reading, and I'm like, it just keeps going.
It just keeps going. Oh my god!
There's no real narrative. There's really no. It just keeps going. People just keep talking, and I'm like, just shut the fuck up. I mean, the only person who has any common fucking sense, and it's very brief, is Scott. It's all for like maybe a page, and that's
where it's like, I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not going. It's like, yeah, and I forget all that he said, but it's like the one moment. It's like, yeah, Scott's the only guy who has any goddamn common sense.
Yep. I will say, I started reading this. I just want to say, I started reading this, and the moment I got right here, I knew this was Kamala, and I went, fuck. I was like, of course, we are starting with Kamala Khan. Yeah, so
the newest and greatest mutant. Yeah.
But so we used to have the Hellfire Gala, but now that we are past the Krakoa era, or so we claim to be, but
yeah,
talking about it,
it's fucking ridiculous. It's like, look, shit or get off the pot. All right, do you want to stay in Krakoa, or do you want to move beyond it? Look, you can't live in the now. All right. Or do you just want to go back to Krakoa? Just make up your fucking mind. You can't have it both ways. You can't.
Yep. Nope. But yeah, this is gonna end up being just a big wank fest for how amazing all these characters that a lot of people don't really care for are. And it's just this whole like Twitter like nonsense talk that you get with when you have comics and there's like 8 pages of them sitting and eating. That's essentially what you get for this entire issue, and it's an oversized issue. It's like almost the size of 3 issues.
If you want to read an oversized comic of a bunch of assholes not doing anything except for eating and drinking and blowing each other, here you go. I mean, well, blowing each other verbally, I'll say. It is absurd that this comic was agreed to be made. It's just unlike a gala. Yeah, it's just them talking to each other and saying like, "Wasn't Krakoa great?" It's like, are you talking about the ethno state you guys created? You know, the age where you guys were legit threatening countries to buy your medicines, and if they didn't, you would inflict violence on them. See the comic series X-Corps? That happened. This is bullshit. It was a peace and free loving place. No, this is horseshit.
Yep. And if you're wondering like what kind of dialogue do you get in this book, like if you look at this panel right here, this is supposed to be Laura. I don't know who is this. I don't actually know who this is. In
Blonde
the middle.
number 1. I don't know.
Blonde number 1, and then Kamala. But you got Laura going, Allison, meaning Dazzler, leaned in, and everyone else followed. And Blonde number 1 goes, pro tip, Kamala, get yourself a friend who talks about you the way Laura talks about Dazzler. So this is the type of back and forth dialogue, like trying to be cutesy, that you get all through this book. Like here she's talking to Miles and she's saying she's got a tarnished mood ring. Like I don't I didn't mean to do that. But it's just, it does not stop. And then you get to a point where you've got Psylocke. Yes, that is Psylocke. I know. Oh, whoa. There we go. Sorry. I hit a button and my screen went black. Psylocke is yelling at Scott because he's not going to the vigil. And it's like, everyone's just standing here looking disappointed. Like, oh, why isn't Scott going? Because he's the smart one. That's why he's not going. But yeah, so again, angry lady. Everyone's
and
angry.
Here we go. This is where he starts talking. Yeah, just pretty much reading them the riot act for how fucking stupid every one of them are. It's like, look how ridiculous they are, and they want to celebrate. It's just like, grow the fuck up.
You know, the only even semi-base mutant here is Magic in terms of look. Like the rest look like rejects that somehow made it in here, but then magic is actually halfway cool, but looks terribly illustrated here. Yeah,
No, you want to know what they look? You want to know what they look like? They look like rejects of the X-Men that Jim Shooter would have rejected. That's what they look like.
Yep. But again, like trying to do the cutesy dialogue, he's like, "Nice work," and Scott's like, "Thank you, Ben." And he goes, "Oh, that was sarcasm." And he goes, "So was that." Oh, ha 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 ha! ha. It's so funny. You got Phoenix. Like I don't even know. There is no point to this book. She's getting memories that are in these crystals, and of course we've got to have Dazzler doing her comps because Drew, that book sold incredibly well. Dazzler is like one of the best-selling X books right now. That's why it got canceled.
Ever in history, and you have one of the greatest songwriters in comic book history who wrote the lyrics for all of her songs, and they're all included in the back of each book. Just it's amazing how powerful Dazzler's music has been. Is almost as powerful and touching as Bill and Ted's music.
Yeah, I mean, look, isn't this just like it's so consuming and exhilarating? This dialogue. You've got Glob like, "Yes, Dazzler," and then he's like, total industry plant, and then the home chick Frankenstein looking woman, Bride of Frankenstein looking woman is like, "No one likes a hater, Quentin." He's like, No, everyone likes a hater. This is the chintzy ass dialogue that you get for this entire issue. And home chick's like, "Oh, whatever, I've got a date later, nerds." I like people don't talk like this. This is not how normal people hang out. And then these fantastic lyrics.
And bear in mind, this whole comic is centered around jackasses in mourning for the island of Krakoa.
Yep.
These are idiots mourning for Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the way I'm putting it. It is Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what they're mourning for. They're wanting to go back to just there was no repercussions for actions. You can fucking murder each other and come back to life with no repercussions. You can bang each other to death and come back, do it again, day after day after day, no repercussions. It is just a life of gluttony. And there is no way to fucking live. And to celebrate that is fucking disgusting.
Yep. Then you have Beast and Jen Starkey fucking each other for like 3 pages. Before we go and see Colossus.
What happened to Hank McCoy? What happened to Hank McCoy?
I don't know.
God.
I don't know. We've got this like Juggernaut Colossus, and hey, look, it's Will.i.am from the Wolverine Origins movie.
That was a thing 15 years ago.
Yeah. It's Will.i.am, and he's about to monologue for endless pages. Like, look at all this talking. Oh my god. It keeps going. Oh my god, it keeps look. This is all him.
And not to say he's not calling him Peter, he's calling him Piotr because he's in Russia.
Piotr. I literally saw this and realized it was all one giant monologue, and I was like, bro. Like, what are we doing
is the goddamn point? We all know where he came from.
Yeah. Oh, look, and it's brother and sister reunited. Yeah, so now they're back at the
Sodom
vigil.
Yep. The vigil for Sodom and Gomorrah. Awesome.
Oh, here's some fantastic. We got the 2 X teams meeting up with each other. Let's keep in mind before I show you the dialogue. One team is in Louisiana, one team is in Alaska. So what do they say when they see each other? Hey, Psylocke, you're looking Alaska X glam. Thanks, Rogue. You're all representing Louisiana hot yourself.
Well, Jesus Christ.
You know who's writing this comic? The person writing this comic has never read any other books. They visit and read gay websites, the gay gossip websites, and the only show that they've ever actually watched is RuPaul's Drag Race. Or Real Housewives of whatever, enter your city here or state here. But this just makes me cringe.
And this just goes back to my argument. I just can't help but to say it again. It's like, look, guys, I understand. Look, okay, Marvel editors, I know you're pressured by the vocal minority on Twitter and Reddit who want Krakoa to stick around, but you don't have to fucking listen to those jackasses. It
Yep.
failed. Krakoa was a failure. Move your fucking asses on. Get help. Jesus.
Yep, and you have your emo Gail Simone new kid, Death Dream or whatever the hell he's called, and he's dancing with a girl. Yeah, this is one big steaming pile of shit. Yeah, and look again, we're only like halfway through, guys.
This is insufferable.
This just keeps going. And it keeps going.
There's no narrative. It's just
No.
vignette after vignette after vignette with no transitions. No
Nope.
fucking transitions at all. This is garbage storytelling. It's not even a story. It's just a sputtering of sentence fragments.
And we have that weird interruption again that they do in these X books.
I hate it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Krakoa lives. Did you know that? Krakoa lives, Drewski. You know why? Because the writers haven't been able to let it go yet.
Okay, now pause real quick.
Yeah.
My favorite X-Man of all time is Banshee.
Yep.
And if I had this in my hands, I would have torn this comic in shreds and pissed on it and set it on fire. Because one, I hate how Banshee's illustrated here. He's drawn like he's a fucking teen wolf.
Yep.
And how he talks here, this is not how Banshee talks. This is completely 100% out of character of Banshee.
Are you not hearing this? Oh, God. Yeah, it's...
God, it pisses me off.
Mother of God, she's here. Oh, yep, okay, cool. And, oh, God. Yeah, this does not look like Banshee at all. What was the like? It was like Sabretooth's son or whatever, like Wild Child.
Wild Child, yeah, that's like Wild Child.
It's like if you gave him a modern day haircut and then just trimmed his chops, and then took away.
Look, he's got the wolf teeth and everything. It's like,
yeah,
what's that, Banshee? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, but please let me go, da. Yeah, well, one he doesn't even look like he's old enough to be Siren's dad.
No,
it looks like they're a
bullseye, Josh. And it's been if this writer wasn't a fucking retard, and if he knew any X-Men history, he would know it was established that Banshee was one of the older X-Men. Mm-hmm. And there's even a line of dialogue where he says like he had some grays when he was on the X-Men. Yet he looks like he's in his fucking 20s. This is horseshit.
Yep. Like, it looks like he should be wearing flip-flops right here. Like, he's got his X t-shirt, he's got his jeans, and he's in flip-flops. And then after the vigil, they're going to go play hacky sack. That's right. But yeah, no, in case you're wondering, it just keeps going and going and going and going. And like, fucking Dazzler's still singing. We're still going. Oh, still Dazzler's still singing. We're still going. Nothing is really happening in this book. Oh, look, there's North Star. Gay. And guys, look, we still have 13 pages left. Oh my God. Oh, but hey, now we get Storm, and she has a flashback to when she's a kid.
God damn it.
And she's gonna get a tear in her eye in a second. In this testicular fungus. Yeah.
You for real?
Yeah. So yeah. Look, when we're saying this is bad, we're not trying to be assholes. It's just this is bad.
It's fucking terrible. This as a storyteller myself. This is not how you tell a story. This is not a story. This is just a vignette of conversations that have no through line. Mm-hmm. There's no transitions. There's no beginning, middle, and end. It's just people talking.
Yep. And then we have this panel where Storm's sad because she's not pregnant. Sad Storm. But then we jump to the future. Drew. And what do we have here? We have a girl. She's black. And she has lightning powers.
Say what?
And I don't know if that's Furaha. Wumpa, wumpa, wumpa. Someone eat my sandwich. Any one of those things. And of course, we got to go back to Phoenix now because we're still not done. Yep. They're going to kiss. And they do stuff. Hey, the Vigil, everybody. Oh, it's a Sentinel. Oh, we got bad guys. And then we're going to abruptly end the book. Which makes me think there's going to be another issue, right? Or am I... No? Or is this leading into these other stories? I don't really know what's going on.
From what I understand, it's leading into the other stories. There's not a follow-up issue.
I mean, I'm glad there's not why is Ironheart in Exceptional X-Men number 11?
Because they got nothing left.
Wow.
Because Eve Ewing is writing it, and because Eve Ewing looks exactly like Riri Williams.
I mean, okay, sure. Yep. But hey, Drew, there were 2 other X books out, right? So there's got to be something from the X-Men line that was good, right? Right? Like we've got.
Okay, so I read. So this isn't a new issue. This was published.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, this was published in a hardcover collection. Like I forget how many years ago, but it's okay. I guess it's not bad. It's not great. It's okay. No. I think.
Yeah. I was reading this and I was like, I feel like I've read this before. So this makes sense. But yes, I do remember now they re-released Days of Future Past with this in it as an add-on for a prelude. The biggest thing about this is it's unnecessary. And then why they decided to just release it as its own individual issue. And then you've got Rachel Summers and yada.
Iron Girl. It's not Tony Stark. It's his daughter as Iron Man Girl. Non-binary, but yeah, this whole issue is just centered around freeing Rachel Summers from her being a hellhound.
Yes,
and it's like I'm like that's it. That's your fucking story. I could not care less.
But now that it's its own issue, let me get to the end because they took advantage of this time to. Oh, I think it's past all this. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong book.
I didn't read past this. I just read that opening story. So whatever you're going to show me here is going to surprise me.
I think this was the book that teased Kamala Khan at the very end.
No.
And was like, why is she in the future or why is she in the past? I might be wrong. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I might be getting mixed up with the other X-Men issue. Okay, I am. I'm wrong. Apologies.
Thank God.
I'm sorry. The book that I'm thinking of is the other X-Men book that was quote unquote released this week. It was released, but this last one was re-released. But we get Jed McKay's X-Men. And let me see if I can find this loser, this steaming pile of poop. Not to give away my thoughts on it, but
you called the shit poop.
You called the shit poop. Okay, where's
poop again?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. X-Men, baby. Oh, okay. So we kind of like sidestep to focus on these characters that I think no one really cares about. Would you agree?
This issue, my God, you want to talk about a discussion between characters I could not give two Baker's fucks about. It's these characters. I don't care. Doug Ramsey, he will never, ever be taken as a huge, overwhelming global threat. I don't care what the fuck you do to him. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Bay the Blood Moon, Warlock, So
now the other thing I have a problem with is Warlock here. Yeah. There is no fucking way Warlock would be going along with what Doug Ramsey is saying here. There's no goddamn way. I don't buy that for a minute.
Behold my heir. Behold revelation. Yeah.
God damn.
And hey, well, doing the dirty with Bay Moon, bow chicka wow wow, brown chicken, brown cow. Yeah, I want to get to the t-shirt because the t-shirt was my favorite part. Yep. Let's go. Oh, we're naked. We got some top of the cheek. Oh. Drew, we're leaving Krakoa behind. We're totally we're past Krakoa. We are.
Yeah. We're
I
moving beyond
promise.
it. Yeah.
The fact that he has a shirt that says Krakoa and nothing else, it doesn't say anything else on it, is just coincidence. Oh wait, never mind. It says Krakoa was for lovers.
Well, I mean, he's not. That's not a lie. I mean,
No,
we learned that
I
they're
mean,
fucking each other like stone test bunnies 24/7.
yeah, you had that great threesome going on with Scott, Wolverine, and Jean. Like they had their own door to get into the rooms.
I mean, what there was that. It was, I think it's a Cy Spurrier miniseries. It's one of those few good miniseries that Cy Spurrier, like Frank Drebin, his way into writing well. It was about involving Nightcrawler, where like he noticed like Krakoa was wrong, like everything going on with it. Like you have characters all living these hedonistic lifestyles, just fucking each other like stone test bunnies and killing each other, being brought back. It's like that's not living. That's not a life.
No,
Krakoa is not living. And yeah, for lovers, yeah, they're all fucking each other. That's what they were doing. It's Sodom and Gomorrah.
But the whole thing too is like, oh, because there aren't any consequences for you, you can do bad things and it's perfectly fine. And those aren't heroes. So
no,
but yeah, this issue was just a waste of time.
It's setting up Doug Ramsey as this badass, and it's like, no.
Doug Ramsey's he's the biggest badass I've ever met. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at those yellow eyes. I can't take him seriously just for the shirt alone. So
it's like trying to make Pauly Shore a badass. It's just not going to work. This is comically stupid. It goes against character. This is a character that's been around since the 80s. He's never, ever been depicted like this because it doesn't work. It's not in his character.
But bro, like he blew a guy's foot off. Come on. Dangerous. So I would say that out of the X books, that is very much I mean, 3 for 3, just not worthwhile. The Days of Future Past, like Prelude, whatever story, is fine in all intents and purposes. It's just not needed. The other two, oh god, the Hellfire Vigil made me want to like go drink poison, and this one I was contemplating why this existed so much that I found myself 30 minutes later not even reading it. I'm just staring at the pages wishing I wasn't reading it.
Quote unquote comic like that Hellfire Vigil, it has really established a dangerous precedent at Marvel editorial. If you're letting a comic like that through, I want to know what's getting turned down. I want to know the stories that are being rejected if that shit is being approved.
Yeah. Yep. But I think we can say for the X books, I think we're both going to agree that we're dropping those in the bin.
Yeah, they're going straight in the dumpster.
Yep.
Why does somebody not know how to flush a toilet after they've had a shit?
What do you mean?
Well, it was fucking one of yous. Disgusting!
Disgusting! We're kind of reaching, getting close to our 9 o'clock mark, so I want to keep be aware of just time and kind of quickly look at some other books that came out and maybe do a quick discussion on them. Was there anything else that you read that you felt like was noteworthy or worth talking about?
Let's see here. Let me go through my memory Rolodex.
I mean, on the DC front, we had Gotham City Sirens.
That was just fucking stupid. It's stupid. It's just straight up stupid.
Yep, it's Leah Williams doing the same bullshit that she always does, where she's got, her female characters and they're bimbos, but she thinks, I guess, that it's cute and empowering women.
There's nothing empowering about this.
Nope.
And you have Selena breaking in like a French clown. It's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. You even have dialogue where Harley's like, yeah, why are you dressed like a burglar breaking into my place? Like, okay.
I wouldn't say a burglar. I mean, no. I'd say more like
maybe the Hamburglar.
I'd say a French, where you dress like a mime breaking into my house.
Yeah. This is what bugged the hell out of me too. That
was fucking, yeah.
Just degeneracy. So Harley calls Ivy, who's her girlfriend, and so Ivy answers and says, hey you, and she's, hi babe, what you doing? And then what does Ivy answer with? Janet. What are you doing? I'm doing Janet. And then of course you got her here.
They're scissoring each other. Yep.
Okay, cool. So, and then Harley, hi Janet. She says hi. Like, again, the stupid shit that's in these books these days. And do people really find this entertaining? Like, are there retarded kids out there that are like, oh my god, this is so much fun? I don't know.
I just think about this level of quality compared to where it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Just comics like this would never been allowed in.
Nope. Hold on. Keep talking.
Wouldn't have been entertained. The idea of these wouldn't have been entertained.
Yeah. Let's speaking of 10 to 20 years ago, let's look specifically at 10 to 20 years ago at a Gotham City Sirens book. Hold on, let me pull this up so I can go full screen for you, jackalopes. This was the original Gotham City Sirens run. Like, complete, like, that's someone murdering somebody right there. So again, not the best book ever, but you got Gilliam March doing art, and it's actually some, realistic, well, at least realistic-ish. It feels like it's a comic book. Feels like an actual comic book. Like, you got Catwoman doing Catwoman-y things. You got Poison Ivy doing Poison Ivy-y things. They feel like they're their anti-hero or villain selves. And, but I don't know. Somehow we've gotten to this nonsense. I'm taking me off.
They're all talking like a bunch of sad, overweight bimbos on a Friday night who can't get dates.
It's like college age girls that are at college just to get drunk and get laid. That's how these characters talk. So, but yeah, they end up going to like some type of bar, space bar.
So there's this fancy new high-tech space bar place thing that has this MacGuffin that Catwoman needs, and Poison Ivy hates it because they have creating a massive carbon stamp, so she wants to destroy them all. It's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. It's crazy. But nightclub going on, you see all these people lined up getting in and everything. It looks like it's party central. And what does Catwoman say? Oh, the security is tight in this place. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's a fucking nightclub. And you're Catwoman. You mean this door guy right here with the metal detectors as you walk in? Like, that's what you're... Okay, time out. So in your comic book history, you've stolen like stuff from the actual government, but you're worried about the security at this nightclub. Okay. But yeah, you get to the end and you see that the villain here is...
So real quick. Yeah. I was going to give the writer some credit, an inch, because I thought she was teasing at Brother Eye. I thought
I did too. When I saw this, I was like, oh, they're doing Brother Eye. Like, okay, I get that. It's not Brother Eye.
No.
Because I kept going, and I'm already pissed off at this book, and I'm like, all right, what's this little poor kid?
Oh, we got the last Airbender. Okay.
Yeah. But then you get to the end, and they've got the reveal. It's Destro. Or Despero, my bad. Despero.
Yeah.
Oh. I've been reading too much G.I. Joe lately. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, I mean, okay, the third eye, but all this tech stuff says Brother Eye, not Despero, like the demon. What's happening? So yeah, Lee Williams, everybody. I think the one positive thing about Lee Williams is, hey, she's got big boobs. So if that's your thing, yay.
Yeah, if you like dumb bosomy women, yeah, here you go. 20-year-old guys, that's your thing. I'm a 41-year-old male. That shit doesn't work on me anymore. Sorry.
No, it never worked on me. Whoops. Anything else that you read that you want to go ahead and kind of touch on?
Look, I read a lot of stuff this week. There's a lot of stuff that I'm sure people read that it's either just fine, like Sisterhood, a high street story. I thought it was okay at best.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. It's not bad. It's just okay. I read Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #2. That was fucking stupid.
Yep.
And shocker, yeah, we don't get to see them fighting Kong or Godzilla. How about that?
Right. Well, yeah, you've got a giant killer croc fighting a gorilla Kong thing. It was weird. Weird.
I read Absolute Green Lantern and I still don't care. And the time jumps are make the storytelling even worse. See here. I read, what else did I read this week? Resurrection Man. I tried. It's just okay. It's not great. Ultimate Wolverine is just okay. It's not great. It's okay. The art was once again okay at best in the book. Immortal Thor, I checked it out, and what they're leading to in the new storyline, it's like, okay, I'm fairly certain I read this a long time ago from Mike Deodato and like Dan Jurgens, but it's nothing new or original here going on. But the art is terrible in that, and Daredevil 23 art is fucking terrible in that.
Yep.
It is laughably bad. And the best artist is naturally the one we've been praising is at the very, very back of the book. And it's
of course.
What I don't understand the art on this book. What the hell's going on with it?
Yeah, at this point, it's like let one of them do a full issue and let the other do a full issue.
Yeah. Speaking of bad art, I read Amazing Spider-Man #7.
Oh, I had that ready to go.
Let's do this.
Look at this fantastic art. Well, one, not only the art but the dialogue. So I'm gonna read this real quick. This bottom right panel. Spider-Man's like 20 minutes, probably less. Then we can parlay the whole campaign together. All right, just wait over there. There are snacks, and then you go down and you've got what's this guy's name? Shoot, where'd it go? Oh, Hellgate. So you got Hellgate, and then he's got his, you let your handmaiden interrupt matters of import. And he's like, oh, we try not to put labels on things, but she's definitely not a handmaiden. And then you got Black Cat going, we need to go right now. And he goes, we're going to be okay, Cat. And then she's like, right now, because we got to have Peter being a total fucking idiot. And then he goes, I'm sorry he called you a handmaiden, but I think he's legit here, should talk. As if it's like, okay, but then what does he do? He just like starts exploding and setting everything on fire and destroying everything. Not that you can fully tell based on this fantastic art by JR, but then you get here and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, he literally destroyed everything around him. So, but yeah, doozy art. Like, oh my God, the guy's just lost it. He's lost his touch.
Look, I have to respect that he wants to keep doing it. I respect that. But no, stop. Yep. You should not be on this.
Do we think this shattered glass is on Peter or is it stabbing Peter?
I think it's supposed to be stabbing him.
I was like, I think it's stabbing him because it's standing up, but there's no. Yeah. Oh God.
And this part I did not get at all.
I didn't either. I don't know what's going on. This whole thing just is a confusing hot mess. Again, I respect JR, but I think there's a point where you have to go like, yeah, I can't do a monthly run on an ongoing series, and this is how I feel looking at his stuff.
And it's like artists are like athletes. Sometimes you just got to realize you don't have your speedball anymore. You don't have your fastball. You can't work the corners anymore. It's just you got to hang it up.
Yeah.
Just go to conventions, do commissions, do retailer exclusive covers.
That's what I was about to say. Do covers, and if you're gonna do interiors, maybe do like a one shot here and there, or a special.
And he's doing the Mark Miller Kickstarter thing. It's like, okay, good for you, man. That's awesome. But but monthlies on Spider-Man, no, dude.
Yeah, and I think if you were doing less, his art would go back to look. I mean, look what the hell? Look at this. He just gave up. He's like,
that is a panel.
Like, you know what? Yeah. But he's like, I'm not doing the lines. Fuck
that isn't.
I'm not doing the lines.
You know what that tells me right there? That panel tells me that's an editor too afraid to tell JR to fix it. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, like this I get because he's so far away, but here you should definitely see the lines.
There's a lot of that in this. There's a lot of that in it where there are no lines on the costume.
Yep, right there. Yeah, it's not fantastic. And look, I get. I mean, even here, I get it. This would be a pain in the butt to draw. Like Spider-Man artists have talked about, they get sick of drawing the lines between the costume, the webs. I understand, but you can't have it this blatantly obvious. So, yeah, not good at all. Is there anything else that you read?
Let's see here. I read. I tried to read. Well, actually, you know what? I did read Bring on the Bad Guys, Green Goblin, #1, and I see what they were going for, but it doesn't work. I don't know if you read it or not.
Yeah, it was like showing Norman making like first kill, right?
Yeah, Osborn making his first kill, making the deal with Mephisto. But the problem is the kill he makes, we have no emotional tie to that character. We don't. That's my first time being introduced to that character. I'm like, okay, this sucks, but I'm like, I know we're supposed to care for him, but I don't, because there's really nothing there to really establish that we should care for that this guy died. It's like we should be really feeling bad. We should be like, no, not Lenny, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Which is, yeah. I'm not gonna say it's awful. It just falls flat.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, because I dig the art style in this.
I was gonna say I actually enjoy the art here.
Yeah, and I love how he draws the eyes. It's very moody, and I love when he does the shadows. It's great horror stuff going on here, and I love how he illustrates the Green Goblin. He looks great, but I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
I mean, love that little like circle in the eye too.
Yes, just right.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's good stuff here. Just
this is where the problem is. This is the problem, because it's like he's given a choice to kill between like two characters, I think, and the problem is we're supposed to know who these two guys are. We're supposed to be emotionally invested in these guys. We're supposed to be like, no, don't do that. No, this is bad. See, it's a good family dad, but it just doesn't work.
This guy's got a kid, Drew, that likes the Fantastic Four.
Oh, no, that's wife. That's the problem with the right. Okay, that's supposed to be his wife, but it looks like his daughter. That's not good.
Yeah. Hey, he likes them. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I'm not saying that. Yeah. Look, again, I didn't think it was awful, but conceptually, I think what they're trying to do, I don't mind.
No.
The execution, the story, well, I'll say the stories, the actual stories themselves are leaving something to be desired and just aren't landing like they should.
Okay, look, what I would say would be bold, but I think after reading the Hellfire Vigil, I think if they've rejected this idea, I'd be like, you guys are fucking stupid. I'd be like, you know what? Instead of going after the parents, the dad, and recreating ASM 50 whatever right there, why not have him go after one of the kids? Why not? He has to kill one of the kids.
Yeah, I mean, that would make him more evil for sure.
Yeah, that raised the stakes big time. And it's like, oh fuck, it's just.
I will say when I saw this, I thought he was dropping him into the power lines.
Yeah, me too.
But then no, it just crunch. Just the
kidding
ground.
me? Come on.
And then he's still somehow back up. Yeah, okay, sure. But yeah,
it doesn't work.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, fine. There are aspects of this that are good, but overall, it just is not. I don't think this is going to be what they were hoping this would be.
No, we got to be honest about this, Josh. Let's be honest here. It's about the Bermeo covers. That's what it's all about. That's what you're buying 100%.
And then, in case you didn't get a good look at those Bermejo covers, good stuff. This dude, I don't really like him so much on interior. I mean, his interiors always look beautiful, but for a storytelling aspect, he's not my favorite on interiors. But his covers,
bangers.
All day, every day.
Yeah, they're all bangers. Yeah,
he's got that hyper realism to his art that for me doesn't work for interiors. You don't have that fluid motion. It just looks like
it's still photographs. Very, very stiff, like Alex Ross. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, let's go to the comments real quick and just see what people are saying before we wrap up for the night, because we spent a lot of time on Captain America, but it was worth it needed to be spent on Captain America.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh God, there's a lot of. I should have gone back to this after the. Oh, what I click on? I should have gone back to this after those 3 X-Men books. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I've got to just start here. They put Kaiser coming in with this. This is soap opera garbage. Days of Our Ex Lives, X and the Beautiful. We're gonna go on a train. Chris came in with $8.99. Well spent, Dad. We got Gossip X Girl, 9021X, X Hospital. You guys are killing me right now. The marvelous Mrs. X. Yeah, this is great. And he's like, no, let's be assholes. These books deserve it. They do. They're bad, man. They're so bad. And yeah, MG's coming in. This is Barbie as the X-Men. Pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, we got fireworks going off. And my dog starts barking. I apologize. Oh yeah, there's going to be another issue for $5. You can't afford $5. It's $5. Yeah, let's see. Drew, how hard would it be to pick up the Blankman and Meteor Man licenses? I'd jump on those books quick as fuck.
I don't think it would be hard. I think it would just be expensive. There's one thing I've learned with what's going on at Dynamite. IPs are not cheap. IPs are pretty expensive, and they add up. And you need to have some you need to have some good profits behind those. And look, I would love to handle Blank Man or Meteor Man, but it's just getting the licensing rights, and I'm sure the movie studios own those rights. So I think Blank Man belongs to 20th Century Fox or Paramount, and Meteor Man I think belongs to Warner Brothers, maybe Fox, or maybe it's Disney. Maybe it's all owned by Disney now. Who knows? But still, I guarantee they would charge an arm and a leg if you want to. If you want to do anything with it.
100%. Like it's gonna cost you. Max, when we were discussing the Hellfire Vigil, was like, sounds like you guys really liked this one. We did. It was so fun. I felt super gay reading it. Glitter and rainbows. Hey. I went
lollipops and rainbows, everything that's wonderful is what
That's right. I was so in love with that book and all the performances of Dazzler that I took those lyrics and made AI songs, and that's been my playlist for the past 4 hours. Just saying. MG said dumb girls with big boobs who shut the fuck up are a good time though, not gonna lie.
It just reminded me of that scene in was a Hot Tub Time Machine with Billy Zabka talking to what's her tits in the bar. He's just like, hey, didn't I tell you I love you? Yeah, I love you, babe. So shut the fuck up, all right?
Yeah. We had Salty Traveling Sea coming in with a super sticker for $1.99. Thank you, good sir. As always, I really appreciate the support. I love having you here in the comments to just chat and give me shit as well. But for that, you know what? We haven't gotten to show this retard in a while because he hasn't been on my show in a while. So just for old time's sake, for this $1.99, this is our video clip.
Max, I just gifted you a ice cream super sticker.
Ice cream, yum.
Never gets old. Never gets old.
He did that too well.
Way too well. Way too well. And of course, we have Yasoy Whack coming in with only people with fake sources hate ASM. Well, yeah, you know, and he follows it up though. He put, you all just hate them because you're not on TikTok. That's where all the cool young comic fans are. Agreed. I'm not on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, but I barely use it because I'm the type that's like, oh shit, I probably should have taken a picture of that.
I'm on Friendster. I'm on MySpace. Working always adjusting my top 10.
Yep.
My top 5.
Top 8.
Top 8. Yeah, top 8.
But most of my time is spent on LiveJournal, if I'm being completely honest. And then, you know, AOL Instant Messenger, dude, like that's the real jam.
Great chat rooms.
Yeah, someone's gonna figure that out at some point and be like, oh, this is golden and go. But yeah, what can I say? AOL Instant Messenger. It's the shit. And MG put, if I was dumber, I'd be on TikTok and love it. Look, we have to keep in mind that the society that we live in now, these younger kids will spend hours watching people dance on TikTok. And we wonder why our intelligence level has dropped drastically. But.
And you know what's funny about that? I just thought about something. I think Batman Forever was ahead of its time when Joel Schumacher had the Riddler with like his Riddler box.
Yep.
If he would just sitting like
mindlessly watching TV. Yep.
That's like, he was so damn right.
He was. So who knows? Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up for the night. We've hit our 9 o'clock. I know. It was a rough week. Like, I know we only focused on a few books, but the other thing, look, I feel like when books are just fine, they're even more difficult to talk about. Like, if something's really good, it's easy to talk about what's good. When something's really bad, it's easy to talk about what's bad. When things are just fine, it's like, okay, yeah, it's there, it's fine. You're just like, yep. And the things that were quote unquote good this week were just fine. So yeah, not the best week. And Drew, you mentioned earlier, like, you don't even know if you and Wes are going to do a top picks of the week. So, oof, what a way to start July.
Yeah, like one of the worst weeks ever. Probably the second worst week in the last 3 years I've ever had. Yeah,
buddy. That is not a lie. All right, we're gonna go ahead and actually, for real, wrap things up. we got Zach coming in with "Wrap It Up, Joshy," and then MG "Wrap It Up" sounds like a show for books that you should send to CGC, and "Keep It Raw" for books you shouldn't. No, just one final time. I do want to highlight that Unholy Nightmare is ending in like 70 something hours. So if you haven't backed it, go back it. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to that 6,000 mark. And then keep in mind, we've got a new cover dropping in the last 48 hours. And if you didn't back Gollum, go back the Gollum. But yeah, Drew, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Dolan Waddick. Dolan_Waddick. You can find me on Facebook, Dolan Waddick. And all I do is post about my projects. All I do is I post pages, covers, links to stuff I'm working on. That's all I do. I don't give a shit what happens in the real world. None of that goes on my page. It's all about me. It's all about my projects.
Heck yes. So I will post, I'm usually on Twitter, but I will post it at @ByPopped if you're wanting more of the kind of what we cover here on the channel, nerd stuff. Other than that, I post pretty much everything on my main handle at Joshua L. McDonald. We are here every Tuesday with rotating shows, every Thursday with Floppy Drop, and then debuting this Sunday. I think I'm going to pick 2 p.m. We will have Pop Talk coming in, and this will be the debut of Pop Talk. And let me get this pulled up. But this will be the stream for members. Again, we don't really have a set topic for this Sunday, so it's going to kind of be a free-for-all. Also discussing what do you want me to talk about. But I gave you guys ideas of things we could cover. If you want top 5 lists, we'll do that in the future. If you want to talk about movies that aren't comic book related or TV shows or whatever, we can bring those up. You might discover there's some things that I haven't seen and you can give me shit for it. That's fine. But it's just going to be an hour each week where we just hang out. So if you're a member of the channel, come have a good time, and then we will talk to y'all soon. But until Sunday, stay safe. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Go blow some stuff up. It's the one time of year you can do, well, I guess you can do it a couple of times a year. But this is the time of year where we really encourage you blowing stuff up. Like, go full America. Put on your American flag, undies, your little briefs. Go out with eagles and boom, 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 boom. Just shoot off fireworks. And then we'll see you next week. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. Have a good night, and I will see you guys on Sunday.
Bye.
Get the fuck out!